Welcome back to All Sorts of Sports.
All sorts of sports, sports and gas. Sports and gas is also sports.
All right.
Well,
Ryan's still asleep. That's why he's not here. Doing lawyer type shit.
Yeah, motherfucker sending text messages at 3 a.m. You're like, oh, he ain't gonna be here.
That was 4.
Oh, it was 4?
Yeah, it was 4 something.
I got my beauty sleep.
yeah.
All right. So this is like we're going to start this off by saying congratulations and how we're all sad about the news that came out about Mina Kimes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's sad. Congratulations, Mina.
Yeah. Congrats. 100%. We're just like,
Congrats. However,
A couple of hating ass niggas.
congrats.
a little bit is like,
That's my room.
We didn't know this was happening. Like,
You know, it just hurt. I just felt betrayed. You know,
it's like, you ain't told us he was trying. We could have rooted you on.
Could have rooted you.
Yo,
Like, come on, Mina.
Wild. Okay, Adam 22.
Nah. Hey, no. That man is COE over everything. Content over everything.
Oh, that's all. COE is a whole other category.
Oh, they posted the video on Twitter. I was dying that everybody responds to it. I was like, oh, because I wasn't trying to watch it.
Yeah.
I have yet to see it. I'm good.
I mean, I saw clips, but I didn't see it.
I've seen the one screenshot of her face.
Yeah, I've seen many of those.
That's all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
So I'm so late to that part. I saw the screenshot, but then they put it right next to Tom Holland and said who did it better.
That caught me so off guard yesterday.
Yeah, I was like, yo, what? No fuck.
Look, acting's got to act, but when the Rotten Tomato score is 30-something% and you're a meme instantly, you got to wonder if it was all worth it.
It definitely wasn't. Like,
it just caught me off guard. I was like, is this AI?
I still don't even know what show it's from, and I don't want
it's an Apple show. I looked it up. I literally.
You know what? I don't have Apple TV.
I'm not gonna lie. All right, before we get into sports, just on the Tom Holland thing, real quick. When I first saw it, I was like, "This is AI," and everybody was like arguing about like, "This is not my Spider-Man." I'm like, "All right, Tom Holland did a gay scene," but I'm like, "Is this real?" I literally went and scrubbed through every episode of the Apple show until I found it. And I was like, "Oh, it's real." Oh. Yeah. The moment when he reaches his hand back.
Nah, see, all right, I got a question.
Hell of an actor, Tom. Hell of an actor.
The other one.
Huh?
How you watch that one, but not the other one?
I care about Tom Holland a hell of a lot more than I care about Adam 22 or Lena the Plug. I can promise you that.
We didn't have
no jumper. I don't give a fuck.
We didn't have to plug all their shit here.
I'm just saying, Tom Holland, that's fucking Spider-Man, bro. Like,
you can bleep out their names too, but you're not gonna remember.
No, fuck.
I don't give them no promo.
That's hard to do.
We gotta just ignore them because you're gonna come up with some other shit.
You're going. You're continuing to go. You're going right now.
Right. You know what? You're right. All right. So, congrats, Mina Kimes. Hopefully for a safe pregnancy, all that stuff, healthy baby. But yeah, damn.
Just y'all down so bad. We're doing pregnancy congratulations on the fucking pod. Open it up.
It's Mina. She's
okay.
She's like our sister.
No,
that's all right. Alabama,
bruh.
No, I was just like, no. No,
that's tough.
I'm jealous. She's like my sister.
No. I said I was jealous.
Let's move on.
Okay, cool. So, bad news for me, and then more bad news for me. Dan Snyder.
Oh.
The article came out about Dan Snyder versus the NFL and Jon Gruden and the Raiders. KDot, you took the lead on this one. You sent us the article, told us to read it.
Yes.
It's kind of the stuff that we've been discussing for the past few years anyway.
Yep.
But a lot of stuff you have said was the case. And here we are. So, KDot, what did you get from the article?
Number one was vindication. That my conspiracies about a Cold War were completely fucking correct. And that, look, the article does an amazing job of breaking down everything that's kind of happened, but also leaving a few things up where they could not necessarily confirm all the way, or at least confirm motive in everything, right? So, like, we all knew when the Jon Gruden emails got released that there was a lot of fishy shit around it. And one of the biggest questions was, who was responsible for leaking it? While the article does not say exactly who did, they do mention that there are a lot of people that had a lot of fucking motives to do so. But even if they had the motives to do so, everybody realized that outside of DeMaurice Smith releasing one particular email, everyone knew that there was going to be significant enough blowback that it wasn't a good idea to do so. Which means to me, there's one prime suspect, which has always been my theory, that it's fucking Dan Snyder because he's a fucking moron. So you have the emails, and also they look as far as the motivation that Dan Snyder has had to do so. They're saying after what happened with the Beth Wilkinson investigation, Dan was able to basically write his own punishment, which we all kind of felt the $10 million to stay away from the team for a period of time was kind of nonsense. But because he was so riding on high on that, he wanted to do a solid for the league because they did him a solid. So they were like, hey, I know Roger doesn't like Jon Gruden. They have their shit. And that was also very interesting going back the years as far as where John and Roger Goodell have been on the opposite side of shit.
I didn't know they hate each other like that.
Neither did I, and it seems petty as fuck, but whatever. It's petty as shit. That's the other thing in this article really is that they're like, you start realizing no matter how big you get, Succession does a great job of this. It's always petty shit, regardless of how big, how rich, how powerful these people might be. It's almost always the petty nonsense bullshit that everybody has to deal with that does them in. But Dan thought he was doing a solid by Roger, and then released the emails to try to get John in trouble. The Raiders still catch a lot of flack because they were willing to ride it out with John. And that is still a bad fucking idea. And Mark Davis, that was a terrible idea. It's just because they tied up so many fucking finances in this dude, and they really wanted his future to be, but they were gonna let it ride until the homophobic emails came out. And then that was a bridge too far because of Carl Nason being on the team and stuff like that. Which, once again, I could say all the black things about mission lips and stuff, but say something about a gay guy, oh, I'm in trouble.
I think there was something else outside of that too. It was more so that when he talked to Pash and Goodell, they told him, hey, more emails are coming. The first question is, how the fuck did Goodell know that? How did he know that more emails are coming?
Well, that's the thing that we've been saying. Like, remember me and Keem went long on the fact as far as the timeline and when it is that the stories were going to break through the Wall Street Journal that people had to know. And they would had to have known for a period of time before anything got released just because of what happens to journalism. So we knew that Dan knew. We knew that. We already knew that. But the understanding as far as how much the league knew when it comes to Dan, that gets explained when you see Jeff Pash in the emails while talking to Bruce Allen, when you see that they have this chummy relationship on the other side. They spring, and I think that's when Mark Davis's biggest beef was like, motherfuckers, y'all spring this shit on me right before everything's going to go down when you knew about it. And you could have gave me an opportunity to fucking do something about it beforehand. Like, fuck you guys for this.
Like, especially like in the middle of the fucking season.
Right. And then the article does also a great job of like confirming a lot of Raider fan conspiracies as far as what happens between the Raiders and the league. And that core tenet is that the Raiders and league will never fuck with each other. Right now, it finally looks like there might be something that's happening as far as you guys have the Super Bowl going your way. I think the draft is coming your guys' way. There are things that are happening now that it almost seems as though they're trying to tell Mark, hey, shut the fuck up. It's okay. Just chill.
Yeah, I think it's that, but it's also the fact that it's Vegas. Right.
Well, it's Vegas. But I think the bigger thing was even in the article when they talk about how the Raiders were shut out of the LA proposition.
And that made no sense because we were the most popular team there.
Right. But they were basically like, fuck you guys. Yes. So that's kind of what it boils down to. But you guys have been very fuck the league, even for nonsensical reasons itself. Y'all, it's all petty bullshit. It's all petty nonsense. But the thing is that Dan Snyder I actually took a clip from an ASOS episode that I might insert right here, from a year or two ago, because I wanted to see how right I was.
Oh,
but what's the? I said that what's hilarious about the Dan Snyder thing, and this is the core tenet that's true. What's most hilarious about the Dan Snyder thing is that his short-sightedness and dumbassery. If he doesn't do what he does, leaking the emails, he's still in well control of his team.
Yep.
He's a fucking moron. And this is great. It's fucking amazing. And I really think that if anybody does any real thinking about this, the league would have never wanted those emails out. Dan's the only one that would. And that, on top of the fact that the Mary Jo White investigation happens after all this comes to fruition, gives the league a perfect out at that particular point, because there were new allegations that they didn't punish Dan for, stuff that didn't come up in the Wilkinson investigation, and an opportunity for the league to say, hey, we didn't know about this shit. This dude's a problem. We need to be out of this. How it lands as far as what people are able to do and what indemnification he has after this is all said and done, that'll speak volumes. But I really think at this particular point, what they want is for this to go away, which is hopefully today's date is the 15th. In 5 days, they're supposed to approve Josh Harris as owner. And hopefully this is all gone behind us. I mean, as a Washington fan, I just want him to go away. As an American citizen and taxpayer, I'd like to see this asshole behind bars or suffer some sort of ramifications. But he's hiding in England.
So, Keem, what was your thoughts on the article?
My thoughts were I did not read it.
Okay, cool. So
I didn't have time. But I did like a little quick glance. And I did see kind of like what KDot's mentioned. I was like, we kind of like, I think we guessed that these two things. And then I didn't read the rest of it, so I don't know.
All right. So KDot, Rock Nation.
That's the other. That's what I was going to leave for you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So DeMaurice Smith had a league vote because he's about to get kicked out, and then the article dropped, and then he won by 1 vote, and he kind of bragged that, like, yeah, I leaked that shit.
We talked about it on the pod right after it happened. We were like, oh yeah, your email got released right before the vote. Okay.
Yeah. And out of the 650,000, only that, what? Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And then
DeMaurice Smith, league puppet.
I forgot who said this, like, or where I heard this from, but in regards to Rock Nation and what they did with Alex Rodriguez and Manfred in the MLB, they use the same tactics here.
Yeah.
Was that, did you say that before?
No, I had no idea. I look, everyone knew the whole Rock Nation League thing was happening as far as Jay-Z comes out at that press conference and says, what, I think we're beyond kneeling now or some shit. And it was supposed to be what they've been handling the halftime shows for the last few years, which in all honesty have been pretty good compared to what it is we've seen recently.
A lot better
outside of Prince and some other ones that are just all timers. But the main thing is that God damn it, I'm blanking on her name, but one of the high ups as far as at Rock Nation, who is Perez. I think it's Perez.
Yeah, her last.
It's a Hispanic name, but I don't want to fuck it up.
Ray, I think.
But what she has been doing as far as being like the de facto PR arm of the entire National Football League, and what Rock Nation has sort of done to weasel themselves into really having full control over a lot of what the league itself is doing. But I think the biggest thing was that Rock Nation and legal firms that Rock Nation deal with, that also Dan Snyder deal with, and how close Dan and Rock Nation were, which is fucking mind-blowing to me, in the sense that they were working together to try to get all kinds of things that they wanted to get done. Which, you talk about an unholy fucking union, Dan Snyder and Rock Nation and Reed Smith Law Firm. What the fuck is that? Like, that's just, if you hear those names together, there's some evil shit happening.
Yeah.
But also the way that the whole diversity thing and everything for Rock Nation, it was a PR stunt. They didn't. It seems as though the league was happy with the direction they were going in, but there was almost a tenet that Rock Nation and those guys thought it might be a good idea to release the Jon Gruden emails to bring some sort of transparency to what was happening. But no, it was a terrible idea. That was very fucking stupid. And
all this is allegedly at this point.
All this alleged, but it all checks out and kind of makes sense.
I don't want to be Brett Favre, so just gotta say allegedly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
Okay, here's what's not alleged. They're all pieces of shit.
That's still alleged.
Maybe from a literal standpoint, they're not Mr. fucking Hanky, but I don't.
Yeah, it's all bad. And at this point, hopefully Jon Gruden and his suit against the NFL gets discovery, so we can see like what the fuck actually did happen.
Here, there's one thing with this that I need to make sure everybody realizes. Jon Gruden's not a victim. Jon Gruden's not a. They try to treat him like he's a bit of a martyr, and I'm like, no. The only thing I'm hoping with Jon Gruden is that he sues the shit out of league, so the entire house of cards comes crashing down. That's the only thing I've been rooting for through all of this is that Dan was fucking them up, they're fucking Dan up, and they're all gonna bring each other down, and more shit's gonna come to light. Only thing I'm rooting for. None of these dudes really deserve any cheerleading from our end, Mark Davis included, who I feel bad for to a certain degree that the league is supposed to be there protecting him, and then they kind of just toss him out to the fucking wolves. And hey, Mark, what are you gonna do about this? But Mark wanted to stick with Jon. You don't stick with the guy who's calling black people Michelin lips. Like, you don't do that shit. Like,
all right, let me ask you this question. Like, I'm not gonna bring up this example if you're not gonna bleep out the names. If you're not gonna bleep out the names, we could talk about it later, and I think we'll come to understand it.
Talk about it later.
Okay.
Well, I mean, are they personal to you?
No, to you.
Names
we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later.
All right.
Because I think if you put yourself in Mark Davis' position with some of the people that we both know, and they said something like that in an email from a decade ago, and then somebody comes to you and says, like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be like, the fuck? I know this person for so long, like they haven't done anything like that before. Like that's kind of weird. And then they say, well, more shit is coming out. And then you're like, hey man, like I didn't know that you was on this type of time, but you gotta go.
Look, the article makes it known as far so like even I'm willing to admit across a lot of lines when it comes to humor, we all have shit that we've said that is not okay as time has gone on. Things that might have been okay to joke about are not okay to joke about now. Totally understood. I also get that Jon Gruden tried to do the stand-up thing, which is that he went in front of the team and read everything that he had said in fucking emails to them and basically were like, what do you guys think? What the article also does mention from Mark Davis is that he went and he talked to a bunch of other people to get what their feelings were. And what he got was a mixed bag.
Yep.
He got some people to say, get rid of his ass. He got some people to say, hey, you got to keep him. They got all across different opinions as far as what it is he was supposed to do.
With the team.
Yep. If there's a mixed bag coming back from the team, you have your decision. That's my thought. Is that like it's one thing for me to feel a certain way. Nothing in the emails offends me. If I'm Mark Davis. If other people are saying, yo, I can't fuck with that. If one or two of my employees say I'm not fucking with that, that's enough for me to say, Jon, I love you, brother. This sucks. It's unfortunate, but you gotta watch what you say sometimes. And people were offended by it, and I gotta have you work in this organization. It doesn't work out, especially in this fucking climate, and especially in this league with the Colin Kaepernick situation, with everything else is fucking happening. I can't deal, man. I can't deal with it. What Mark did was waited all the way until the line went where it was like, I guess I just can't take it. And the thing that always gets me, and it goes to what Dave Chappelle talks about, and I don't like to splinter these things, but you can say anything you want and do anything you want a lot of times with black people. The moment that you start offending other groups is the moment that it becomes the issue. And if the issue was the homophobic, specifically, when you start talking about the gay people, is when the shit starts happening. All right, I'm not gonna call the outfit mafia.
Got it. Inclusive LGBTQ plus
You're missing like 3 acronyms. You're missing 3 letters.
I added them LGBTQIA plus.
Oh, so you know them.
Yeah, you gotta know them.
I don't know what they all stand for. I know what like the originals, the OGs. I know the OGs. But I don't know
the OGs.
I know the OGs, the original house.
One of the bars I do marketing for every June, I hate this, wants to do the rainbow, that wants to do the pride flag for logo. So I have to redesign the logo for the pride, which I hate performative shit. Black History Month, you're blacking out shit. I fucking hate it. Do you know I got into so much trouble, because apparently I was using an outdated flag, and then the other flag didn't have enough colors. Then the hue of the violet wasn't correct. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I can't keep track. I just can't. I'm trying here. Sorry, it was a little personal story. I didn't really have anything to do with it.
No. I got it.
I think I agree with what both of you said, right? And I accept it. That's facts. The other part of it is how, like, they still got 649,999 emails, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, if you're not gonna push him out for this, we're gonna find some more shit. And not only just in regards to Jon got what he deserved for like some of the shit he did, right? Like, nobody's arguing that. Now, if Rivera does something wrong,
he won't.
I know, but if he does, everybody makes mistakes. Like, we gotta realize what time we're in. You can make a mistake and lose everything that you have ever done.
Yeah, talk to the Northwestern football coach.
That was continuous mistakes over and over and over.
Jon Gruden's continuous mistakes over and over.
I agree. But what I'm saying is, if Rivera does something that the league doesn't like, they can just pick out one of those emails where he might have been involved in or like complicit in something and say, all right, leaking this one now.
Oh, wait, hold on. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted on my end. I'm not talking about it from a moral standpoint.
Okay.
The league has lost the morality. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying from a business decision. The aspect of caring about your players, your employees, and things like that is when you make that decision. The league has lost their moral high ground, especially after now I'm seeing the Rock Nation combo with this.
Yeah.
As far as diversity, it's like, wow, y'all cannot do right at all. You're incapable of doing right. Like, we've lost that. If you want morality, stop watching football. Like, that's because there's no safe bet. The XFL might be your safest bet. The NCAA, that ain't right. The fucking in the NFL is definitely not right. Like, we're not talking about more morality here.
I remember looking at a mock draft on TV like last week, and I'm like, God damn, I miss football.
Oh man, for sure.
I'm watching NFL quarterback. Oh my God.
I was like on my I create a personal list on Twitter that's football, for basketball, and so on and so forth. And so I go to my football one, and they were showing highlights of Zay Flowers in college, and I was like, yeah, just wait, like we gonna kill him. And I got so excited.
Not gonna ruin that.
What'd you say?
You're gonna ruin Zay Flowers, and I'm not happy about it.
You just a hater. Him, because what's going to happen is neither of the two other wide receivers can stay healthy, that being Odell and Rashad Bateman. So one of them's going to get hurt, and we're going to need Zay to play and step up, and he'll end up with like 800 yards receiving and like 6 touchdowns.
I'll say this. For the first time that I can remember, Lamar has a receiving core, like a legit one.
A decent one. Yeah.
Nah, they're legit.
I'm going to wait until I see what happens on the field.
They got to be healthy. Yeah, no. Mark Andrews and Isaiah
to start off the year, they have a legit receiving core. Everybody's healthy starting off.
But there was a thought process that Brown and Bateman was going to be solid. Like, I'm just saying, I got to wait until what Baltimore has shown me is they can't develop receivers. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Guess what? They got people that have already developed.
I love Zay Flowers. You know, I adore Zay Flowers. I'm just saying, if I'm looking at any team, I'm like, where do I not want the wide receiver to go? If I'm just going off of past history, Baltimore's up there. It's up there. It's just what it is. Am I hoping that this is not the case this year? Absolutely. I have a vested rooting interest in this guy.
We're not as
y'all had Mason, Steve Smith.
No, you're not as bad. Well, here's the Patriots just don't draft the right guy.
But see, I think that's fair. I don't think we do either. I don't think we draft the right guy either. But to that point, I just feel like they are so much worse. Like now, they don't even have a Hollywood Brown that I can think of to name for them. Like we said, we can't develop. Like the last receiver we got in the first round, pretty good. Bateman also good. He just gets hurt. Like we've been doing okay with the picks.
Yeah, but the thing is, New England gets legit production from guys that weren't necessarily great in other places, and then they come there and well, you guys have done that too. No, but fuck that. Every guy that you guys have had was great somewhere else, and then it comes and they're pretty good. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Like you got OBJ now,
but like you remember
that's they should have waited on Nuke. It hurts me. I wish we'd known about Nuke. He was going to get released. We could have just waited and I would have preferred him because I legit don't think Odell can stay healthy, and that's where I'm like, let's just Nuke anyway. But then it's going to look like we don't care about our two like younger receivers, and it's like, oh,
nah. Like that's when it's like you got like Jerry Rice and Tim Brown on your team.
Jesus Christ, that's a wild comparison. That's a wild comparison. What the fuck is wrong with you?
The two old goats.
What is wrong with you?
Two old goats on your team at the same time.
Yeah, fucking all right. But like what Baltimore doesn't have is they don't have a Wes Welker. A dude that went undrafted, was basically nothing somewhere else, and it ends up being a stud for them. Danny Amendola. The Washington Redskins got Danny Amendola paid. I'll never forget the game. He was with the Rams. He caught 20 passes and like 200 yards on us, and then he immediately went and got paid in New England. And it was like they got production out of him. He was never really that great a thing. I've just never seen them ascend on that level with a wide receiver. But Anquan Bolden, great. But he was already great. Steve Smith was definitely great before he fucking gets there. Derek Mason was definitely great before he got there. So it's like, I don't know.
That's kind of their thing. So now they got another one.
Yeah, I get it. Odell, but once again, the injury thing, like it only works if you're playing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's only been his knee, right? I'm not saying only like it's insignificant.
Just to take a step back, I literally just was talking. We got into this discussion because I was talking about how there is no morality in football. And do you see what us crack-headed fucking football addicts just did?
Yes.
Immediately just bounce off to it.
And look, I get it, but we've been around fucking football since we were like 4.
I get it, but I'm just saying they know what they're doing. They have a product that we're not going to fucking turn off because but when it comes to that aspect of the morality, we're not much better than anybody. So like, even if I cast aspersions on these guys and what it is they're doing, we are all still loving the product. We are all still waking up at 8 a.m. on fucking Saturdays to talk about this shit together. Like it's crazy. It's nuts.
Talk about all sorts of sports, bro.
Fuck you.
He got one off.
That was my one joke for the morning, bro.
He got one off. Then you got to give him that one.
Yeah, pour something out for Ryan. He would have loved
that. All right. So you mentioned Quarterback, which is a series on Netflix, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have yet to watch an episode. I've just seen clips on Twitter.
I didn't finish it. I'm a few episodes in, and I can just speak to. It's kind of like a Hard Knocks, but just following those 3 quarterbacks. Okay. That's what I'm watching. I'm like, y'all just doing Hard Knocks like that, because you know how Hard Knocks set up. It always has like the moment where we're following a player throughout the episode, and then it gets like there's some drama surrounding them, and then towards the end of that 3rd preseason game, they put him in the second half, and it's like. Here, and they kind of like play the music up and everything. Yeah. That's literally what they did with quarterback. Oh yeah, Mariota fumbled the ball here. Yeah, he.
Like 3 games in a row.
Yeah, he's just been dealing with this issue, and they like win a game on a Mariota comeback and shit like that. It's like okay, all right, like, but no, it's good though. It's I haven't finished to the point that people were talking about. I think it was KDot was one of the people was mentioning like the Mahomes thing.
Yeah. Max Crosby.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, kind of like, oh yeah, they kind of gave him a little bit more insight into Mahomes and shit like that. And that was good. So I'm looking for. I think I got like 2 episodes left.
I'm right around there.
I remember. I've only seen 2 clips. I didn't see shit about Mariota. I didn't see shit really about Kirk Cousins until after Jefferson said he's not top 5, which is funny. The only thing that I did see was Mahomes versus Crosby, and then the respect that they showed each other, and then Mahomes yelling at his dogs.
No, they had Mariota stuff up. So like the Mariota and the Kirk stuff was good because you kind of see like Kirk is a warrior. Like he's kind of like soft spoken. He's never been a vocal guy. It's like that they play that theme out. It's been a theme throughout his life. And
you like that?
And they talked about I like that moment. Then him going back to Washington and shit, that last year and stuff like that. So that was good. And then they just kind of just show you like because Kirk again like is not a vocal leader, and so how he kind of played hurt throughout the season, and like he still had a pretty good season. And with Mariota, obviously like him losing his position. I mean, well, his starting spot. So
yeah, that kind of sucked.
It was like the comp to me. I get the hard knocks comp, of course, documentary style, behind the scenes football. You get that. The thing with Hard Knocks is that it was kind of like what you were saying in the beginning, and then you went in a different direction. But Hard Knocks, we understand the beats of an NFL offseason. So like we know exactly what the process is going to be as far as, all right, the vets and how it is they deal with the rookies. We all know that everybody waits for the cut day episode, right? Like there's always, we know exactly what kind of progress is going to happen with this. With this show, which I think is phenomenal. I think it's a phenomenal show. The comp that I probably have more to it is Drive to Survive, but with content that people already know.
Okay.
So whereas like you'll always have like Will Bruxton on Drive to Survive explaining things in F1 to people that don't know. We don't need that for this show. Everybody knows what the deal is. We're just getting behind the scenes stuff. The Patrick Mahomes stuff, you could see him on the field always rowdy and getting nasty. I did not know he cursed that much, and I did not know he was a big trash talker. The like when he early in the season when he pulls off that fucking spin move on the sideline and he just lobs it up. I'm here. I'm nice. I'm that guy. I've never been I'm that guy. I'm like, God damn, Pat. Just like, what the fuck? Or the Max Crosby stuff. Don't do that bullshit. Don't do that shit with me. I'm like, God damn, Pat. Pat got that edge to him. But then Pat was also hilarious because in that same token, he'll tell you, I try to compliment all the defensive linemen so they don't put something extra on it. So you see the entire game, Aaron Donald, hey, nice play, big dog. Great rush, big dog. Just try. Yeah. Like those little things were just like, that is awesome. Also, what it did for the rehabilitation of my thoughts on Brittany Mahomes, night and day. Love her now. Adore Brittany Mahomes. She's awesome. And they did a great job probably outside of their hands. They might have scrubbed them, but everything Jackson Mahomes is not really in the show. That's okay with me.
I mean,
he makes one appearance. He makes one appearance, and that's behind Henry Winkler on the sidelines. That's it. That's the only time I saw Jackson Mahomes.
So he didn't talk.
The motherfucker does not have a single line in this show.
He didn't move.
Like all the families meeting up after the game. Jackson's gone. So I don't know what was going on there. Fantastic work.
Sounds like just like a still shot.
Yes. The Marcus Mariota stuff. I was talking to somebody on I had a former employee talk to or I don't know, somebody I was in charge of was on Facebook. He was like, yo, I don't know why they chose these 3 quarterbacks. Like why they choose like a Jalen Hurts, so like a Lamar Jackson. I'm like, I get that to a certain degree, but you need that variety. And I think the thing is that like the Marcus Mariota, no one would have had him as a top 20 pick to be on this fucking show. He doesn't have like a really big shining personality. He's never really been that guy. He's fairly quiet and soft-spoken. And he was going to go play for fucking the Atlanta Falcons. Like maybe it's a great comeback story if it works out, but nobody really thought it was going to work out. And it didn't. And but to see him go through everything in that progression was awesome. It was heart-wrenching in some aspects of some return because you're kind of rooting for him, but then you're like, all right, I understand them going with the young guy. It just makes sense. Mathematically, you guys are eliminated from play. You got to do this. You got to do that. That was cool. But the star of the show, in my opinion, is Kirk Cousins. Kirk is everything you think he is. The Christian, boring dad. And you see, like, he's a fucking warrior, bro. Like, he's a fucking.
You glowing over your ex right now?
I've always loved Kirk. So, like, I just did Dish Divided yesterday, and I think Amit's actually texting me right now. And he's like, he hates Kirk Cousins. He hated Kirk Cousins in Washington. And I was always of the idea that it wasn't Kirk's fault that we franchised tagged him 3 fucking years in a row. We're just a dumbass organization. We should have locked him up long term. And he'd be better than anything we've had at the quarterback position in quite some fucking time. We had just kept him. He's easily the best quarterback we've had in the last decade, if you're not counting the RG3 rookie season.
I mean, you paid him like it.
But the thing is, like, even that, they go into detail. The Washington episode was nice to me because my team's on there a lot in that second episode of the show. But to hear Kirk talk, this is the first time I've ever heard Kirk talk about his thought process when Washington drafted him after drafting RG3. And he's like, I was angry. I was really upset. I was hoping the most I could do is play in preseason and get traded somewhere. But hey, God works in mysterious ways, and RG3 got hurt. And now I had to take advantage of this opportunity. And it's like, I get it. And he's a dude that's easy to root for as long as you probably stay away from political stuff with him. Like getting engaged in the Capitol building, it's fucking weird, bro. He's a good dude. He got engaged in the Capitol building on January 6th. No, shit. He's a weird dude, but he is so himself, and you know what they do as far as getting themselves involved in the community. And what he did, he was getting his ass smacked last year. He was getting the shit kicked out of him last year. The only thing,
that compliment he gave Washington, it was about Washington. It was so funny. He was like, hey, I think they lead the league getting quarterback. They're not going any down.
I don't think it's gonna. After that one, I don't think it's going down any. And Duran Payne, and Duran, amazing job on Instagram, just showing yourself watching the scene. It's Duran smacks the shit out of Kirk, and as Kirk's on the ground crying, Duran gets up, smacks him on the ass. You'll be all right, but just walks off. It's cold as fuck. It's so cold. But the only thing I get is that Kirk Cousins groans a lot. I've met no football players grown as much. The motherfucker was in pain so much this season.
Yeah, like a tackle's like a car crash. So
yeah, but I'm like Patrick Mahomes is getting hit. Marcus Mariota is getting hit. Kirk literally, I'm not.
So it's like when you watch tennis and every time they hit the ball, it's like that.
He's just walking off the field. And then he's so honest because there were moments where he would get hit, and like Adam Thielen comes over to him to ask him about a route. He's like, I don't know. Whatever. Get the fuck away. He doesn't curse. Just get away. Like he's not like he threw a touchdown at one point. He was just frustrated with the game. So he's like, Z cross, Y, whatever. Just because he forgot what it was. I'm loving this show. I'm adoring this show. Man, I know that I don't think they filmed anything for season 2, but if they do something like this, like, can you imagine like a Lamar Jackson?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, do Lamar. Like,
Lamar,
that would be
great.
They should, just because of all the other people that are there this year now too. Like, so you already got Lamar. Yeah. Now you add in OBJ, and
they want. I think it's like
the city of Baltimore. It would be great.
Well, they're going to different like set of quarterbacks each year, because that's what I want.
There's no word on that yet. So like I think the series is doing well enough that it's going to get greenlit. I think there's 2 things. Is number one, when you hear Peyton Manning was talking about the show, he had to sell it to these quarterbacks, because most of these guys are like, no, I'm not fucking, you're not following me around with goddamn cameras. So you got to find the right guy. That's the one thing about Lamar. I don't know if Lamar says yes, because there's no hard knocks rule with this. I don't know if Lamar is going to be like, yeah, I'm cool with that. Jalen Hurts seems more along those lines, because I think he wants to show off the team and stuff, which would be fun. I think that'd be dope. But I think that if they go into the thought process, like it's not 3 stars every year. It's 3 guys from different walks of life.
Who would your 3 be for this year?
For
my
this
3.
All right, you go first, Keem.
Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
I
don't think I want to do a rookie quarterback. I just think it's a little much.
That was my only thinking to make it a little bit different, because You're getting all mobile quarterbacks, but you're getting the guy who just coming off a Super Bowl loss, but he played really well. And then you can do Lamar, his new weapons. That can be his storyline, contracts, big contracts. And then rookie, like, is he going to start? Is he not going to start? Okay, he's playing. Maybe he's not playing. What's it like? Just gives you a little bit of different perspective between those three. Because otherwise, it's just going to be, I was going to do Dak, and it's just going to be kind of like the same thing.
I got you. I would go give me Lamar. Give me what's his name?
Hurts?
No, Geno Smith.
Okay.
Geno Smith.
Oh, okay.
Because I want the wily veteran, the dude that's been around for a while. He's trying to hold on the position. He had a great year last year. What's this year going to look like, right? Lamar, just because I just think he's the most interesting man in the NFL that nobody really knows. And then third guy, I'm thinking about a young guy. Give me Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
Oh, because he's going to have a blast this year. I think this is going to be an MVP caliber year. I
think if they keep it along those lines of like the vet, the guy who has already seen his best years potentially, then you have the superstar. I think you do one absolutely bona fide superstar, and you have the young guy. And then the only rule is stay the fuck away from Russell Wilson. I think he would be unbearable on the ship.
All right, so my three.
Future agrees.
I got Lamar too. So I think Lamar just has to be there. We all agree with Lamar.
He won't say yes.
He's
such a weird.
I think he would. I got Joe Burrow and Derek Carr.
Of course you did.
Carr's a good pick. Carr's a great pick in New Orleans. Carr's
not on my team anymore. Like, I can give a fuck.
Yeah, but you love him. You love him.
Yeah, I do. He's cool. not like football wise, not really.
I like the Carr pick.
As a person, yeah.
I love the Carr pick. I really love the Carr pick. I think that's strong.
Because like they're gonna be winning.
Yeah.
He's in a new environment.
Well, never mind.
But we're not sure on the winning thing.
Yeah, I'm not sold on that.
100% sure.
Okay.
Who else is in that division?
No, I'm saying that division weak as shit, but it could be an 8 and 9 season, and they make the playoffs as the number one.
I mean, if they beat the shit out, what I'm saying is they're gonna win their division.
I don't like that team.
Not gonna be good.
Baker and Tampa.
No.
I like Baker and Tampa. I don't. I think the Carolina with the Rook could be dangerous because they got a defense, and then also the thing with Atlanta that people keep misunderstanding. Atlanta was close in almost every fucking game last year, and you know how you always saw with the pendulum shit. It's like Atlanta was like, I'm sorry, Keem, like the pendulum shit. I look at Atlanta and I'm like, yo, they weren't. I'm not saying they're world beaters. I'm not saying this and the other, but
no, I agree.
Atlanta's a team that it is, and then also I think they have absolutely the rookie of the year on that team.
They also have
John. And that defense can play. So
can New Orleans.
I'm telling you, I don't see it. I'm not sold on New Orleans. And trust me, the Chris Olave, Derek Carr connection, great. He had Devontae Adams.
Yeah. And he also have Michael Thomas too. Hopefully.
I am never on the Michael Thomas train. And if you're anybody's expecting to see the Michael Thomas of when was the last time he was healthy? 7 years ago? It
hasn't been 7. But Michael Thomas he's like a possession receiver where he can run a dig route, get you 8 to 10 consistently.
Is New Orleans wide receiving core better than Vegas's? Is it close? I thought I was giving you a fucking layup. You're a goddamn Raiders fan.
No.
Who's the best receiver in football?
Devontae Adams. I get it. But what I'm saying is a receiver is more than just one receiver.
I get it. Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller.
Darren Waller's not there.
I said what Derek Carr had. Yes.
Okay. Darren Waller was there half the time. So half of Darren Waller. Cool.
What you'll get from Michael Thomas?
Fair. And you know what? You know what? That's fair. But I don't think Darren Waller was ever considered the best tight end in football.
I'm just saying the Devontae Adams thing makes the entire thing moot. Okay, it makes the entire thing moot. Unless you think Olave is going to ascend even further.
Nice.
I like Olave.
I know, and he's a burner.
I'm not Ohio State receivers, man. You ain't gonna hear me criticize.
You got the underneath covered with Michael Thomas if he's there and healthy, which is a big if, and then you have post.
Look at the rest of the offense. Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, he's there.
Is he?
Yeah,
suspension coming probably.
Yeah, but depends on how long.
And Kamara hasn't looked great.
He didn't look bad.
I take Josh Jacobs over him.
Me too. But guess what? I don't know if Josh Jacobs is gonna be there.
Look, man, unless John
I ain't gonna be there.
We're talking about last year.
Hey,
I'm just
Mark,
saying I don't think
Josh Jacobs, yo. I don't give a shit if he blocks
Derek Carr is going to a much weaker division. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
I don't think the team is where it needs. Look, maybe he throws up great numbers. Maybe this is his Drew Brees moment. But Drew Brees, that decision that San Diego had to make was a toughie. Vegas couldn't wait to get rid of this dude. Just saying.
No, it's not couldn't wait because it's been, 9 years?
Yeah, I know, but you guys finally got to that point where like, God damn it. We couldn't quit you, but we need to because it's in our best interest. And they finally did it.
No. I mean, that's Mark Davis, yeah, but everybody else is like, nah, get the fuck.
Nah, it's more Jon Gruden and racist emails. And this is not McDaniels' guy.
He gave him
what did Jon Gruden do immediately? I'm now an assistant in New Orleans.
Yeah.
He likes Derek Carr.
It wasn't immediately.
Josh McDaniels doesn't. Yeah, of course. You got to let the Michelin lips thing kind of.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. All right. So that was a nice little joke there. You came up with KDot. Speaking of nice jokes, did you guys see the rant between KD and Ryan Davis?
Yes. I didn't see like the whole thing. I saw
a whole bunch of shit, yo.
I watched the entire response video. I saw the only thing I saw that because I don't remember what Ryan was saying initially, but I saw KD's response to that initially, and then Ryan's response video, which was amazing and which I really want to talk about because I have a question for you both, and then I'm gonna say what I gotta say. But James, I want you to go first, but what are your thoughts on what Ryan said? Do you think he's right?
In regards to what?
I guess
KD's head
on the defense.
There's no opinions needed there. We can all see.
Cool. I'm seeing where I need to go. I didn't lead me to where I need to go.
He basically said he's not his thought process. And he's not well equipped to win a championship because of these reasons. And do you think he's right?
Yes and no. More when he discussed defense and the efficiency rating and the people that win are top 3 defensively, all the time. And then the other times when it wasn't, I had 2 all defensive players on the squad that year. That makes sense, right? And KD just goes out there just to play basketball. I don't think he's entrenched in all right, what's our defensive rating this year? Can we win? He's I'm on the team. We're gonna win because I'm on the team. That's how you're supposed to carry it. No?
I don't think that's necessarily how you're supposed to carry it, but I do think
if you one of the best fucking players in the world, in terms of just playing basketball, you're hey, if I'm on the court and you've been doing this for 10, 12 years, we gonna win if I'm on the court. That's how you have to look at it yourself.
I get that idea. I understand that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. However,
he may not be right.
Realistic.
Yeah, he may not be right.
I'm saying, no, you have to be realistic though. You're supposed to think you great, but also be realistic about, hey, here's what I need around me. Here's what we need as a team to win. If that's something that I care about. But to your point, I don't necessarily think it's not that he doesn't care about winning. He wants to win, but he doesn't care in the way that I would say LeBron or Steph does. KDot.
He doesn't care because if it's not ready-made for him to not have to worry about things, he's not going to win anything because he doesn't understand there are certain aspects you need for a championship team.
All right.
Okay, here's James. What I'll say is that what you're saying could be true if he shut the fuck up and stayed one place. If you keep bouncing to other places trying to find a championship and you realize, motherfucker, you're looking at the wrong shit, or you're not going to be able to build a team that's going to win the championship because either people ain't going to stay healthy or you're looking at the defense. Ryan Davis was right, okay? Across all lines. And the thing that really pissed me off with the KD thing was that I went to KD's Twitter, immediately started rolling through to see, all right, what the fuck started this shit? And I know KD's a troll. I get it 100%. I understand he's a troll. But if your answer to this defense versus offense thing is, but to win a basketball game, you need to score more than your opponent, or one team usually wins when they score more than the other team, are you just trolling? or you fucking dumb? Like, I don't. What? This felt like Booger McFarlane levels of fucking analysis. Like, it was just, what is happening? I was like, KD's not dumb. He can't be. Is he? And like the Ryan Davis thing, what the Ryan Davis thing is so great is it's making me question everything I ever thought about Kevin Durant. I just thought he was fairly lazy in the sense of not wanting to go through all the pains and heartaches of going through your knocks and your rough parts to get to a championship. Now it just to me feels as though he might not understand.
He doesn't. And like, I don't, it's the evidence is there because he didn't understand why people looked at him the way they did when he did Golden State. He really didn't understand it. And I was like, are you crazy? Like, what do you mean you don't understand it? Like,
all right. Well, look, I will say this. We've all done that in pickup basketball, where you're the best player on the team that loses.
I've never been that.
You never been the best player on the team that loses?
Fuck no.
Oh. Sucks for you, bro.
I've never been the best player on a basketball court. I've had moments, but I've never been. It's
bro.
like, oh, Keem's having a good day.
All right. So like in college, I would go to the rec center on campus. We hoop 5-a-side, whatever. You know, it's like a few games, weight, and all that other shit. Like it's multiple courts, but you got the good court, the medium court, and the bad court. Good court, you on there, your team loses. One of the people on the other team drops, and then like, yo, we need one. You was hitting threes. Come on over. And then you just run shit for the next 2 to 3 hours. Like you never done that?
That's a thing that happens. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like that's
a hot day. That's a good day. That's one of those days that I'll tell my kids about because it didn't happen that much afterward.
Bro, I'm telling you, I was like Steph in 08 and 09. And then 2010 shit just went downhill.
Get him.
Yeah.
And then you just start running shit. I don't know about like 2 or 3 hours. He wild. I ain't never ran shit.
2 or 3 hours.
But I get hour straight, hour 15, hour 30.
Because what would happen is like you would run. Yeah, you would run a few. Then the teams would drop. There would be like a little dull period. You play 3-on-3. Then another set of people come in. Then you run against them. You win it.
I don't count it like that. That's fair.
2 hours of total time, like a football game. It's not the
or 3.
Okay. Got it. All right. Yeah.
Like we would go to the gym from like 12 to 4 or 5.
Yeah. See, that was the thing is if I have my hot streak going on, I need to play the next game. It's not. I'm like, I got the stroke down. I got it down. I know I'm not thinking. I know it's going in. We just got to keep going. Because the moment I start thinking about this shit, the moment's not going to go in. So let's just go.
Be there like every other day.
I was never there. I was not there.
But Keem, like one of the points that you said before, right? You said that KD doesn't care about winning or compared to like a LeBron or a Steph, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you this question: If James Harden and Draymond Green switch places this whole time, where do you think things would be? How many rings do you think Steph would have? How many rings do you think KD would have?
Switching James Harden with Draymond? Switching James Harden with Draymond?
Yeah. Like when James Harden was on OKC.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So the Warriors is Steph, Clay, James Harden, and who else? I mean, and Looney and Wiggins are like,
no.
Like right now, just the team.
No. The team back then. Like when Steph and them started winning.
I'll say Steph probably had two rings. I give him 2 rings.
Yeah, that's about right. The KD still doesn't have anything because if we're talking about then what Draymond's coming off the bench,
they'd be good defensively, but that'd be that's a terrible fit because then you have Russ as a non-shooter and Draymond as a non-shooter.
All right.
Draymond's not starting.
He is.
No, Draymond's starting.
Harden didn't start,
but Draymond would start.
So he would start because Harden didn't start. So Draymond's defense on OKC. So so basically what you're saying is that if you switch Harden with Draymond and they met in the playoffs, does OKC get past Golden State?
Is
that the question?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe. I doubt it because I still think Golden State also had other defensive players. Klay Thompson was a hell of a defensive player until that injury.
Iguodala.
Iggy, yeah. So, like I'm saying,
they won with Barbosa, right?
Barbosa won.
I love Barbosa. That was my guy. Him and Roddy Bobois, boy.
Because then what you're also telling me is that Draymond started, which Harden was not. It was one of the reasons he left OKC. So, like, if they're getting that output from Draymond defensively, I think it's probably a better matchup. But I just think the shooting power at that point of fucking Golden State. And then also being able to play defense. I just think that'd been something fucking crazy.
Yeah, because now you're talking about it's Iggy. Because I forgot. So because we going back.
We went back.
Look, when we said we went back, I was like, oh, they had Iggy.
You get Iggy, so it's Iggy at the 4 and whoever David Lee. If you want to go with the David Lee center at the 5, we got space. David Lee can't hit threes, but he can hit that high mid range. And then you got Steph.
Iggy at the 4?
Huh?
I thought he was a 3 or a 2.
He can he take one, but.
Small ball. Facts. Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all
got sleepers?
I do. But I think that the importance of Draymond isn't discussed as much as it should be. I know Steph is the best player and of course the best shooter on the planet, but I don't think that team does that much as they would have without Dre.
Oh, for sure. But here's the thing though. What does Dre look like on a different team? What does Dre look like on a different team? I think he's
we should have seen it this year with Dallas.
I think he's perfect for us, but I also think his value would diminish with another team. Not that he wouldn't be great, still defense and all that stuff, but the playmaking thing might not be as much of a thing for him.
Yeah, and
not defense and rebound.
To me, Draymond anywhere else is a poor man's Ben Simmons from 4 years ago.
Ben Simmons is pretty damn good.
Ben Simmons is great, but that's the thing. Is but when you talk about value and what that does, you got to really build the rest of your team out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. So, I guess I go first for final thoughts / sleepers. This, I think this happened yesterday. This week, Messi landed in Miami because he's going to play for Inter Miami. We already talked about his deal and all this other stuff and how much money he's getting. But this man decided he wanted to go grocery shopping. And he walked in with his family, his wife, and his kids, and they were just grocery shopping. My guy, you're in Miami. You do not do this. You can't do this. I want you to be safe. He went into, what was it? Publix? Yeah, I've never been there.
They had great sandwiches.
Great
you
sandwich.
One around here?
Get you a good meatball 6-inch sub.
Closest one is probably out near Woodbridge, Stafford.
Oh, okay. So same thing as a cookout. The closest cookout
fair enough.
Is in Fredericksburg.
Yeah, you'll start running the Publix when you get that far. But then, like, you don't run it. When's like you ever walk into a Piggly Wiggly?
No, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Dude, that's a motherfucking legend right there. That's a motherfucking legend.
It's like the same way that people don't know unless you're up here, they don't know what a Safeway is.
That's crazy. Just one right there.
He doesn't know what a Safeway is.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So yeah. Messi, you gotta move smarter. You gotta be careful. You got your kids with you. Like, you already got somebody kissing you on the cheek like earlier this week. And then he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go grocery shop. Like, you can't do that.
I feel like you do that in Europe.
No, he definitely can't do it in Europe. He'll get recognized like a lot quicker in Europe.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I don't have a lot of experience in Europe, but just being in France, it was just so easy to walk down the store. It was fairly empty most of the time. You could bounce in and out, and especially depending on what hour.
An international soccer superstar.
I totally understand. I'm just saying that I think that you might, if you have certain grocery stores, you can probably go to where they won't blow up your spot.
But I think it's just more so that, and also I think celebrity culture is different and worse in America than it is in other countries. So,
yes, other than the UK
and Barcelona and Paris.
I just think there's love there. There's not. We need to mob you to get autographs to throw on eBay.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand that, but it's more so like in like Spain. I've seen this countless times where players will be leaving training, and then you got hundreds of people just surrounding their cars.
That's what I'm saying. That's a different thing. So like there's so I think along the lines of what Keem is saying, or at least what I'm saying is there's one thing of waiting at a facility where he's doing something related to the sport and waiting for him to come out, and then we're going to do that, compared to this guy's doing something in his normal way of life, and we understand to give him some space is doing that.
You're talking about like a paparazzi type thing.
Right. So like there's a respect angle of like,
I ain't talking about paparazzi. I'm just talking about like
no, I'm saying people in general. I just think Europeans are not going to be, this motherfucker is still a human being and he's grocery shopping. This is not him training for the team. This is not him at the team facility. This is not him doing a team function where it's like, oh, I can get my autograph now. The dude's with his family. I'm going to leave him alone. The most I might do is say, great job, Messi, and then be good with it. We're over here. Majority of motherfuckers are just way too hot.
The other part of it was I saw like somebody was talking about like, Publix is partnering with Inter Miami. So he went into like a partner store. You got that. Then you also got the car he was driving, Audi, which is also another partner with Inter Miami. Yeah. So it's
gotta
like,
make that money worth it.
Yeah. All right. That was my final thought. Messi, move smarter, please.
You want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. Demon Slayer, I'm not all the way done with it, but
I'm done. My God.
I'm in the entertainment district and it's good so far.
Oh,
yeah. And so I just want to shout out to Demon Slayer. Shout out to the Bear. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And I also wanted to say I finished season 1 of Sopranos and I really enjoyed it. I
saw your Olivia Soprano take.
I want to be very clear with this. Olivia Soprano is way worse, way worse than Gemma Teller. And Gemma was bad. Gemma was bad. But Olivia and her personality disorder, oh my God. I don't know what I would do. I always used to think, like, watching this, I always used to think, like, you should never, like, abandon your parent and like put them away and shit like that, and like, you know, kind of just get them out of your life. But I watched this show and you know what? I see why people be like, oh, y'all got mamas like this? Like, y'all, that's why y'all still bring your mama. I understand. My bad. And she is the worst. She is the worst. But it's a good show and I'm probably gonna finish season 2 this week. We'll see.
It'll be in your top 5.
We'll see.
It'll be in your top 5. Quickly, congrats, Danny Ricciardo, back in the F1 seat. Also, McLaren, baby, looking good, coming back, just doing a damn thing. Really, really happy. Looks like we might be ascending. Just got to see what we do on a slower track, more turns, make sure the car still operates in that same level. Really excited about the prospects of that. The only other thing I wanted to say was it is a hell of a week for labor unions. And with the writers that have already been on strike, the actors have just gone on strike, and UPS drivers are about to go on strike. Just making sure everybody knows that life is not the replacement movie. You're not Shane Falco. Respect fucking picket lines and labor, and know that this country was better when our unions were stronger. And this shit that they're fighting for is extremely important. I don't know if anybody else knew that the president of the Screen Actors Guild is Fran Drescher, also known as the nanny from the 90s sitcom. And she's fucking awesome. If you haven't watched her speech that she gave the other day, you should probably give that a listen. But as much as I do love working with artificial intelligence, I do it every day. There is a brave new world right now that we have to figure out how it is that people and the technology can work together in a sense, and making sure that people that are doing the work are being properly compensated, because it's absolutely ridiculous the chasm that is growing between the haves and the have-nots, the people that are in charge compared to the people that actually get the shit done. And support your unions. It's very important, and that's one of the main reasons I love Massachusetts. There's no bigger union state in the country than Massachusetts. All right. Anything else, fellas?
Fuck Boston.
You know, I've been looking at you the entire day. I'm guessing that's a white polo shirt. I keep thinking you're wearing a fucking Dickies shirt, you fucking babe bastard. Oh, yeah, he left. All right. What's up?
So the pod's over, right?
Pod's over. I'll stop recording. Hang on.